It's really a sad day when you learn that someone that you thought was a victim might actually have been a major perpetrator. David Miscavige is the leader of Scientology, and his niece has been speaking out for the last couple of years. Jenna Miscavige has been incredibly brave by sharing all of the inside scoop about what has really gone on in Scientology. And I don't know about you, but I'm inclined to believe what she has to say. But why does it contradict what some other activists who are against Scientology have said? Today, we are going to react to some of the things that Jenna has shared. So sit back, relax, and take a deep breath. It's time to let the fresh air in. Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Erin and I'm fascinated by all things cults, true crime, and unique spiritual practices. Every Tuesday, I share real life survivor stories. I go live and react to the crazy things that cult leaders say on Thursday mornings, and I drop a cult deep dive every single Saturday. I also post true crime stories on my Spotify account. So if any of that is appealing to you, well, this is the place for you, and please consider subscribing to the channel or supporting me by joining one of the memberships. You'll get access to the videos 24 hours early, access to the Discord, and a bunch of other cool perks. But without further ado, we are going to jump in to Jenna's side of the story. And I think that some of it is going to be really, really surprising. Now, the way I like to move through these videos is watch the video with you and then share my point of view or maybe offer some more insight, specificity to what we're seeing here. So today we're going to take a look at Jenna's TikTok, which has been highly monitored by Scientology, and try to see if we can make sense to what she's saying. Because if you've watched some other Scientology shows, like Leah Remini's show that was on A&E for several years, some things feel a little, I don't know, contradictory. Who are you going to believe?
Jenna Miscavige, and my uncle is the leader of Scientology. I escaped when I was 22. My aunt, Shelly Miscavige, hasn't been seen by anyone outside of Scientology since 2005. Leah Remini last saw her that year and then reported her missing in 2016. Since then, Where is Shelly has exploded, bringing international attention to Scientology's abuses. Most people see my Aunt Shelly as a trapped, powerless victim. I see her differently, as the Ghislaine Maxwell to my Uncle Dave's Jeffrey Epstein. She was his right-hand man, so to speak, and she was there for it all. Protecting predators, covering up child abuse and deaths, separating children from parents, and helping to build the family-destroying human trafficking cult that it is today. It was my Aunt Shelly who forbade and prevented me from communicating with my parents as a child. It was she who kept me separated from them. And when I wanted to leave, it was Shelly who ordered someone to be posted outside of my door day and night to make sure that I couldn't escape. And she ordered hours of interrogations where I was physically restrained from leaving the room, all while she was living in luxury, flying in private planes, with private chefs, with designer clothing, vacationing in the Caribbean, while being waited on hand and foot by teenagers and hobnobbing with Tom Cruise and John Travolta. She's been reported missing, but hundreds of Scientology workers live at secret bases, isolated from the world. My Aunt Shelly works at a base near Lake Arrowhead. She's reportedly been seen visiting the chiropractor, going out to the movies, going out to eat Italian food. These are all privileges far beyond what I or other Scientology workers ever had. I really appreciate everyone who asks, where is Shelly? She might be isolated from the world, but so are so many others who weren't right there building a criminal organization and abusing children alongside my Uncle Dave. They won't have a celebrity asking after them because nobody even knows who they are. I believe stopping new people from joining is the best way to throttle Scientology's efforts. People like Aaron Smith-Levin, Streets LA, and Jessica Palmadessa are getting the word out about Scientology every day. Please follow and support them so we can keep shining a light on this and prevent more people from getting sucked into this dangerous cult.
So if you watch the A&E special that Leah Remini hosted and basically produced, you will know that the "where is Shelly" question was one that has never been answered. Now, it's my understanding that Leah Remini was very, very close with Shelly, and when Shelly didn't show up to Tom Cruise and Kate, I forget her last name's wedding, like back in the day, suddenly Leah Remini was like, "Where is Shelly? Where is Shelly?" And this question being unanswered is one of the big questions that Leah had that kind of catapulted her out of the cult and ended up making her or inspiring her to speak out against it. But now we're hearing from Jenna that Shelly might have been just as bad as the leader himself. So it does beg the question, is Shelly hiding more? Is there more that remains to be seen in this dark and twisted world in the inner workings of Scientology? I do believe that two things can be true, just like with all cults or abusive relationships, that a person can be a victim while simultaneously being a perpetrator. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know the threats that Shelly was experiencing that might have led her to treat Jenna and other people the way that she treated them. But that does not justify any actions. It sounds like she played a detrimental part in Jenna's life, making Jenna's life really difficult, keeping Jenna away from her family. I mean, that is horrific. And I think the accusation that she is the Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein is a massive accusation and one that needs to be taken seriously. I mean, it does make you wonder, is Shelly just kind of living her best life in luxury while people are tithing to the church and working and bringing money into the church and not being paid for their labor? And she's just off gallivanting around this Scientology base that operates similarly to the military, and people are constantly wondering about her well-being and where she is, but Jenna's like, "No, she is just as terrible as my uncle. She is just as bad." So I really hope that we get some more answers to that question, because until Jenna started speaking out against this, I had no idea that Shelly was potentially just as bad as David Miscavige. I thought maybe she was under his thumb. I thought maybe she was being abused or harmed by him and felt like there was no escape. And maybe she's been locked up because perhaps she tried to escape or tried to speak out. There's also this self-reporting type of culture within Scientology where people are so afraid to even vent to their friends about something they don't like, because it is expected that if somebody says anything negative about Scientology, it's expected of that person to go report it to the higher ups in Scientology. So I always wondered that, well, maybe Shelly was trying to speak out and David caught wind of it and basically locked her up. But Jenna's saying the opposite, that Shelly's hunky dory. Maybe the real issue is David was trying to keep Shelly away from Leah because Leah was essentially, suppressive person number one, and didn't want Leah to have anything to do with Shelly. Allegedly, cops even went to, I believe, the gold base in California to try to find her, and people were like, "Oh, she's fine. She just doesn't want to come to the door right now. She's fine." So the cops have basically made it a non-issue because no one from her close family has reported her missing. So that remains to be seen. Scientology just feels like this massive monster that feels impossible to take down, even though their numbers statistically have been dwindling over the last several years. But I agree with Jenna when she says we really need to just start and continue to speak out against them to protect people against joining Scientology. Let's hear what else she has to say, shall we?
In Scientology, they have a name for their enemies. They're called SPs. I am an SP. My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle's the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. Here are some of the crazy things that can get you declared an SP in Scientology. Informing fellow staff members and others that you want to leave staff. I told my husband I wanted to leave Scientology staff, and that made me an SP in their eyes. But the biggest no-nos are the public ones. Public statements against Scientology or Scientologists. So basically, if you exercise freedom of speech, you're out. If you say anything they don't like, you're an enemy. And when someone gets declared a suppressive person, they're not allowed to have any contact with any Scientologist at all. Doesn't matter who it is, your mom, your sister, your brother, your child, it's over. And this is especially brutal for parents because if they have another child in Scientology, they're expected to choose. If your employer is a Scientologist, you're fired. And the connections you built over the years, your entire network, everything you rely on to survive, poof, they're gone. To Scientologists, being an SP is the worst thing you can be. And once you're labeled an SP, they can and will do what they want to you. They'll lie about you, smear you, stalk you, put up fake web pages, spread rumors, try to frame you. All of that is fair game.
So if you've watched anyone who has spoken out about Scientology in recent years, you probably recognize the term fair game. Fair game means that if someone is a suppressive person, they are effectively a threat to the church itself. So that means it's fair game to do whatever you want or have to do to get them to shut up. Whether that means harass them, threaten them, stalk them, follow them around, put up blasphemous posts about them online or terrible websites about them. They're fair game. They're the enemy. They're speaking out against Scientology, so you can take them down no matter what. All ethics totally get out of the door if you are labeled a suppressive person. You could do something as simple as say to your husband, like Jenna did, "Hey, I just don't know if I want to work for Scientology anymore. I'm really tired." Oh, okay. Well, F you now. That's essentially what they say. You're not entitled to our attention, to our support, nothing. Imagine you quit your job and instead of being like, oh, okay, good luck on the next one, they're like, okay, well, now I'm going to stalk and harass you and go through all of your trash and threaten you and make you feel like your life is in danger simply because you left your place of work. But it's not only this fear of being labeled as an SP that keeps Scientologists sucked in. I mean, listen to what Jenna just said. She expressed that, especially if you are brought up in the cult, if you work for the cult, that is everything you know. And I can't imagine everything and everyone you know abandoning you simply because you want to make a life change. You have no income. You have no marketable skills because you went to Scientology schools. All of your work resume is filled with Scientology based jobs. All of the lingo that you've learned is Scientology based. I mean, they've created this new language to label different things so it makes them feel like they're better than everybody else. So, can you imagine how difficult it would be, even if you're starving, exhausted, overwhelmed, feeling like you're just not able to live your truest self, and you say, I just really need a change? If you decide to go that route, you will lose everything. You will lose financial support, emotional support, spiritual support, your familiar support, your friendships. You'll lose everything. So when people judge someone for staying in a cult, specifically Scientology, we really need to think about that point of view. And I'm sure you're thinking, okay, well, what about the Elizabeth Mosses and the Christy Alleys and the John Travoltas? They have the money, they have the means, they have the knowledge. They are literally provided handlers whenever they go do a movie, whenever they go do a project. It's a lot more difficult for them to get access to the outside world. Tom Cruise is David Miscavige's best friend. He gets so many financial perks for being a Scientologist. So why would he ever leave? He and all of those people I mentioned have been so indoctrinated over decades that they really believe that what they're doing is helping save the world. It's helping make the world a better place. And if Scientology has anything to say about it, they are going to pump out propaganda after propaganda every year, every month to try to gain more followers and control the narrative. But I'll show you some of those propaganda videos a little bit later. But I do want to give a PSA. If you are an actor in LA and you see an audition for Golden Era Productions, do not do it. Do not do it. It's a Scientology propaganda machine. Unless, of course, you're going there to help snatch someone out and help them escape the cult, which is literally how one woman escaped the cult. An actor came to work at the Golden Era production house, and she basically was like, "I need to get out of here. Please put me in your trunk." Or she like just jumped in the trunk and he like heard something in the back and didn't know what it was. I don't know the specifics of the story, but effectively she was in the trunk. He drove off the base, and that's how she escaped. Was in the back of an actor's car. The lengths people go to escape. It's like escaping from the military or being a war prisoner. Like it's crazy how scared these people are because of the imminent threat of being labeled as an SP.
Scientology's coming after me right now. They have a secret intelligence branch to target their enemies. My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle's the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. Their secret spy branch is called the Office of Special Affairs, OSA for short, and they're working overtime to silence me and the people I love. OSA operates behind locked doors with special clearance. Members sign ironclad NDAs while being videotaped, and many of the people in this unit are there because Scientology has so much blackmail on them that they know they'll never turn. Their special training? How to create lies, how to spread rumors, how to destroy anyone Scientology labels an enemy. This is not new. OSA used to be called the Guardian's Office, and when the FBI raided them, they found the paperwork for their secret operations that involved staged hit and runs to frame critics, deliberate attempts to ruin people's lives and break up their marriages, people intentionally and strategically pushed to psychological collapse, and people cut off from their livelihoods through purposefully planted lies. They even infiltrated the United States government. If they can't control you, they go after the people you love. They watch them, they bait them, they provoke them, and when the moment is right, they strike. They have nothing on me, so they attack the people closest to me because that's the only way they know they can reach me. And step by step, I'll show you exactly how it works. If you think I sound paranoid, Google everything I said. It's real, and it's happening right now.
Imagine having so much free time on your hands that you can attack someone who disagrees with you or leaves your organization and everybody that they love. And you put together a training course on how to destroy someone else simultaneously while you tout in all of your propaganda about how you just want to make the world a better place. So I think just to show the juxtaposition between a survivor, what they say their true account of Scientology was, versus the narrative that Scientologists would love to have you believe. Well, let's go ahead and watch one of those videos now.
We know the questions. We've heard it all. But we also know who we are. Citizens of more than 180 nations, united by a common purpose: to make life better. And if someone doesn't like it, tough. We stand for compassion, for tolerance, for truth, for humanity. And we stand for you. No matter what you may face, we're with you, and our help is yours.
I don't have enough eye rolls in me to give the appropriate amount of eye rolls. The Botox won't let me have as many facial expressions as I would like to. Do you see? You're compassionate? Really? You care about humanity? No, I think you care about the bottom line, which is your money. That's what you care about. Give me a break. So you see the difference, right? And this is not the only cult that does stuff like this. Every time Jenna posts a video that is critical of Scientology and based off of her true experience, Scientology is going to pump out some propaganda BS with David Miscavige himself doing the voiceover. I mean, I'm not sure it's him, but it sure as heck sounds like him, because I'm sure he believes that he's the only one that can sound truthful enough to share what the purpose of Scientology really is all about. Give me a break. I think one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to cults is when somebody does call them out, okay? Someone calls out a cult, someone calls out a problematic person, and they deflect it. They're just like, no, we're about compassion. We're just going to ignore all the noise. No, address it and take accountability, because that's what would set you apart from being an actual cult. You saying constantly, no, we're perfect, we're perfect, we're perfect. They have a problem, they have a problem, they have a problem. It makes you look more like a cult than any other cult activity. Like, give me a break. Take accountability, own up to it, say you're going to do better. I'm getting a little heated, you guys. I'm so sorry. I just think that Jenna's incredibly brave. This cannot be easy. If she ever, girl, if you see this and you want to come on my channel, I would love, love, love to interview you. Like, that would be a dream come true, because I just think you are so brave. It's got to be so difficult to speak out against a cult leader in general, but B, out against your family when you know how powerful they are firsthand and you know how they might retaliate. It's scary. It's scary. So I really commend her.
Hello
Hi, Uncle Dave.
and welcome.
Thank you.
You've probably heard of Scientology.
Oh, you bet I have.
In fact, every 6 seconds, someone searches the question, what is Scientology?
That's right, and they find out that it's a cult. My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle's the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. In my last TikTok post, I said I'd be posting the next day, and then I suddenly disappeared. Whenever that happens, people worry and wonder if Scientology got to me. And this time, if you were worried, you would be right. My last post was about Scientology's practice of targeting, injuring, lying about, and suing their perceived enemies. And almost immediately after I posted it, they did exactly what they're known for. They came after me and the people who I love hard. It's been constant, overwhelming, and exactly the kind of pressure they hope will shut someone up. But I'm here and I'm back, and no matter how hard they try, they won't get me down. I want to thank you all for being here and listening. What I ask is simple but powerful. Share my story. The more people who understand what Scientology really is, the better. Especially in law enforcement, government, and courtrooms where the truth matters the most. Thank you so much for the empathy, kindness, and support you guys have shown to me. It means so much to me and to the others who've grown up in Scientology.
That's what the thing that's so dangerous about speaking out against a cult, especially one as vindictive and calculated as Scientology. I mean, this is her own uncle coming after her. This is her own family trying to destroy her life, destroy her credibility, all because she's sharing her own experience. She is the one trying to protect humans. She is the one trying to better humanity. That's not what they're doing. Their cult is failing. Their cult is slowly fading into the darkness. There are a handful of Scientologists left all over the world, and they're going to use their resources to target their own family member. And this is tax deductible / not taxable income that they're using, because Scientology has a tax exempt status because it claims to be a church. So effectively, all of the money that Scientology is making in its for-profit structure is being utilized to harass American citizens when it could be going to pay taxes to support American citizens. That's just one of the reasons why we need better protections on a government level against cults and religions and things like this. We also need more government bodies to understand coercion and what that looks like, and recognize that people are signing their life away. If you are in the Sea Org, you're signing a billion-year loyalty contract to work for free labor, to basically work for free and work grueling hours and devote your entire life and beyond to the organization. That makes it so it's more difficult for people to hold Scientology accountable, because people are signing their life away. But I feel like it's has to be similar to NDAs, where we've seen stories of women signing NDAs and then getting essayed by their boss and trying to speak out, but there's this threat of the NDA. And so the government said, like, look, if the NDA is essentially breaking a law, it's ineffective at that point. So that allows people who have signed NDAs to speak out. But it's not illegal to lie. It's not illegal to coerce someone to do what you want them to do. So with a lot of these cults, if there is that paper trail, they get away with it because it's more and more difficult to prove. It's really, really heartbreaking. And if someone who has more of a legal mind wants to, share your knowledge on that a little bit better. I mean, this is just based off of research I've done over the last few years. I'm definitely not a person with a law degree. So if I've like miscommunicated any of that, just let me know. But that's been my understanding from the work I've done over the past few years regarding cults and abusive dynamics.
I wanted to read a letter that I got from my mom when I was 8 years old, growing up in Scientology. Dear Jenna, thank you very much for your letter. I just got it today and I was very happy to receive it. The paper you're writing on looks like special printing paper that people use to learn how to print better. And I can tell from your handwriting that you're definitely learning to print better. One good thing about being in Florida is that I do have a nice place to sleep and a nice place to work, but I would give all that away just if I could be with you. I hate to tell you, but I will probably be here for a bit longer, maybe even months. But I will set up a line so I can talk to you several times a week. In other words, I'll call you there. I miss you very, very much, and I love you even more. I do look at your photos and I do read your letters as they mean more to me than anything. However, I know that you understand that I have to do some very important work here and therefore it's important that I stay and do it. Lots of love, Mommy. She wound up being gone for 4 more years, and at this time, I didn't even live in a home with my dad. I lived at a Scientology boarding school. When she finally did come home to California when I was 12, they sent me to Florida to work, where I wasn't even allowed to call her. I only saw her twice, briefly, before I was 18. There are hundreds of stories like mine. When Scientology says they care about children and families, it's a trick.
This is so utterly heartbreaking. One of, I think, the most insidious practices within Scientology is they don't treat children as children who need to learn and grow and help with their emotional regulation. They treat children as just like small human beings who are fully able to work just like an adult. They're just little human beings. They might not be as strong as an adult, but they're fully capable of working the hours that an adult works. They don't recognize the bond that parents might have towards children. So they're totally fine separating it, and these parents have been so indoctrinated that they think that they're working towards the highest good. So they do leave their children, especially if they've signed on to that $1 billion contract to work within the Sea Org, which is, I'm assuming, where Jenna's mother went. It looks like, based off of some of the photos and previous stories we shared in this particular video, that she was basically like David Miscavige's secondhand woman in the Sea organization. She was gone Jenna's entire life. And the second Jenna's like, yay, like my mom is coming home, they're like, nope, now you gotta go work. They do this intentionally to isolate people even within the cult, because it's not enough to isolate you and your family from the rest of the world. They need to rip those familial bonds apart so that people don't have any support system, because the only support system should be the cult itself. If you can strip somebody of every comfort that humans need in order to survive and make it so that that person only receives those comforts from the cult itself, then you will create a devout supporter, follower who will do almost anything to get that comfort. So they're stripping children away from their parents. They're stripping husbands away from their wives. They're stripping families apart, friends apart. They don't want you to have connections either inside or outside of the cult because they want to know everything. They want to see everything. And if you have a close relationship with someone, whether it's inside or outside of the cult, who you're confiding in, then you're going to share information. You're going to start unpacking some of the things you have an issue with. And that's another reason they have that self-reporting or reporting on other people, because they do not want you to trust anyone else within the cult. And people do it because they believe they're helping save the world. It's not even they're just getting enlightenment. They believe they're helping to save the world. It is so, and I've said this so many times in this video, but it is so heartbreaking to rip a child away from their mother, to put in a Scientology boarding school and barely allow those two to speak, and to treat the child like they're just a small adult. I mean, think about the lack of education someone like Jenna received. How is she going to escape and go get a real job and contribute to society? It makes it almost impossible for her to do that. And I firmly and passionately believe that we just need to talk about this more and more. So I will be reacting to Jenna's videos more often. If you see something in particular that you find interesting, please feel free to share it with me. You can reach out to me on TikTok, Let Fresh Aaron, or Instagram, same, Let the Fresh Aaron, or you can email me, or if you have a story you'd like to share to be featured on this channel, whether you want to be interviewed or you would like me to just read out your story online anonymously so it can be kind of like a cathartic release, please email me your story to letfreshaaron@gmail.com. And please go to TikTok. That's where Jenna shares most of her stories. Go support her, go share her videos, educate yourselves, and help educate others, because that is the best way that we can help stop groups like Scientology. And guess what? I'm probably an SP at this point. So, hi, Dave. Nice to see you. Just kidding. Anyways, everybody, thank you all so much for being here. Please have a great rest of your week. And I will see you in my live Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you made it this far in the video, drop a little star in the comment section. And thank you all so much for being here today. I'll see you in my next video soon. Bye.